Picture this. You're just about to take the real estate exam, and you are brimming with confidence and ready to conquer. Sounds surreal, right? Well, what if I told you it is within reach? No more second guessing and stressing over unfamiliar terminology. Mastering just essential real estate terms 61 to 90 will help you boost your confidence and ace the real estate exam. It's time to turn that dream into reality. You've got this. Let's go.
Property tax. Take a few seconds and crack this term. Property tax is essentially a fee that property owners pay to their local government. Calculated as an ad valorem tax, it's based on the value of the owned property. Think of it as a way for local governments to maintain and improve communities, all while you enjoy the benefits of owning a piece of real estate. Let's jump straight to the next term. Net listing. Guess what net listing means? In a net listing, the seller and agent team up to make the most of a property sale. The seller sets a minimum asking price and lets the agent work their magic. If the agent manages to sell the property above the price, they get to keep the difference as a commission. Say a seller sets a minimum price of $500,000 for their house with a net listing. The agent sells it for $550,000. The agent earns a commission of $50,000, which is the difference between the selling price and the minimum price. It's a win-win situation where both parties benefit from a successful sale. Gear up for the next one. Net operating income. Net operating income is the money a property brings in after subtracting all those frustrating operating expenses. It's a snapshot of a property's financial health and profitability, helping investors decide if it's worth their time and money. Time to explore another term. Net lease. Ready to take a guess? Let's do this! A net lease is a rental agreement where the tenant pays rent and additional property expenses like taxes, insurance, and maintenance. This structure exposes tenants to property ownership responsibilities without actual ownership. Sole proprietorship. Let's see if you can nail this definition. A sole proprietorship is a one-person show where an individual or married couple owns and runs the business. As the most popular model for real estate agents, it's like being your own boss, where you and your business are one entity. Simple, flexible, and empowering. Here comes another one. Tie-in agreement. Give it your best shot. What's this term about? A tie-in agreement connects two products or services, requiring the buyer to purchase both together. In real estate, this could mean agreeing to use a specific lender or service provider as a condition of the sale. While it may offer benefits or discounts, buyers should carefully consider the terms and potential implications of such agreement. Here comes a well-known couple. Subletting. What does subletting really mean? Ever played musical chairs but with apartments? Subletting is the real estate version. When a tenant needs to exit their lease early, they find a replacement tenant to step up in their rental agreement with the landlord. It's a strategic solution that keeps the lease alive and ensures everyone has a seat, or rather, a place to call home. Alright, how about subleasing? Subleasing is when a tenant rents part or all of their lease space to another person while remaining responsible for the original lease. It's like being a mini landlord within your own rental, providing a flexible solution for tenants with extra space or temporary changes in their living situation. Always consult your lease and local laws before entering a sublet agreement. Receivership. Can you decode this peculiar term on the spot? Receivership is a legal process where a court or lender appoints a receiver to recover funds from a borrower in default. This helps protect the value of the property while ensuring the lender's interests are met. In real estate, receivership can provide an orderly resolution when a borrower struggles to meet their financial obligations. Can you remember the definition of property manager? If you do, that will come in handy now. The next term is property management. Take a few seconds and think about it. Property management involves supervising real estate assets, ensuring smooth operations, and maintaining their value for owners and tenants. It's a vital service that keeps properties in top shape and financially viable. Moving on, creative financing. You got this. Let's go. Creative financing is an innovative approach to securing funding for real estate investments without relying on traditional lending methods. Investors use unique strategies and techniques to acquire the capital necessary for their purchases, enabling them to think outside the box when financing their projects. Mezzanine financing. Put your definition skills to the test. Mezzanine financing blends debt and equity financing, offering an alternative funding source for real estate projects. It serves as a middle ground between senior debt and equity, providing additional capital while giving lenders a lower priority in repayment compared to senior lenders. For instance, let's say a developer is constructing a 20 million luxury apartment complex, but has only secured a 15 million senior loan. Mezzanine financing could cover the remaining $5 million while accepting a secondary repayment position. Next up on the express term train, kickback. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! A kickback in real estate occurs when an agent accepts financial incentives or valuable items for referring clients to a particular business or service. This controversial and illegal practice involves sharing a portion of the profits generated from referrals with the agent who facilitated the connection, raising ethical concerns within the industry. Ready for the next? Good! There you go, the Fair Housing Act. The Fair Housing Act is a crucial federal law ensuring equal access to housing opportunities by preventing discrimination in buying, selling, renting, or financing homes. Protecting individuals based on race, religion, sex, disability, familial status, and other factors, this legislation promotes a fair and inclusive environment for all seeking a place to call home. And the Fair Housing Act goes hand in hand with the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988. The Fair Housing Amendments Act, FHAA, strengthens the Fair Housing Act by extending protection to families with children and individuals with disabilities. Enacted in 1988, this legislation fortifies the fight against housing discrimination. Onward to the next term. Tax lien. Your turn to be the definition guru. A tax lien is a legal claim imposed on a property due to unpaid real estate taxes, ensuring the government's interest in the property until the outstanding debt is settled. Sticking with the definitions relating to tax, here is another one: tax rate. Think you know it? Give it a shot. A tax rate represents the specific percentage levied by the government on individuals, businesses, or other entities, determining how much they must contribute to the public coffers. Next up is taxation. I'm sure you know this. Taxation is the practice of collecting a share of value from individuals or businesses to fund and support public welfare. Easy, right? Let's see the next term on our list. It is none other than principle of progression. Give it a go and decode it. The principle of progression highlights that a property's value tends to rise when higher value developments emerge in its vicinity, reflecting the influence of neighborhood improvements on real estate worth. Here comes the misbehaving little brother of principle of progression, principle of regression. The principle of regression posits that a property's value may decline when lower value developments are introduced in its surrounding area, reflecting the impact of neighborhood changes on real estate worth. Valid contract. Again, it's time to play Guess the Term. A valid contract is a legally binding agreement that fulfills all court-defined criteria, ensuring enforceability under the law. Next term activate. Grant. Think you know it? Let's see. The legal transfer of real property ownership from the seller to the buyer via a title exchange. Speaking of a grant, next up is Grantee. The lucky recipient who gets to call themselves the new legal owner in a real estate transaction. Alright, let's keep the momentum going. Here's another one, Grantor. The legal term for the seller in a real estate transaction. Now let's look at another important concept, Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is a federal organization that oversees and addresses environmental concerns. Established in 1970 by President Nixon's executive order, the EPA plays a vital role in preserving the health of our environment. Ready to conquer the next term? Deed. But what does deed mean? A deed serves as a written legal instrument that officially transfers real estate ownership from one party to another, documenting the transaction for legal and public records. Now that you know what deed is, let's see if you can nail deed restrictions. Deed restrictions define legally binding limitations on property usage set by past or current owners that typically remain in place indefinitely, shaping the property's present and future development. Imagine, in a suburban neighborhood, a homeowners association enforces a deed restriction limiting house colors to neutral shades. This preserves the community's aesthetic and maintains property values over time. Fasten your seatbelt, here comes another term, subsidized housing. Subsidized housing offers government-supported financial aid for housing to low-income individuals and families, often referred to as affordable housing in the United States. This program aims to ensure access to safe and affordable living spaces for those in need. Close to the finish line of this round. Next up is zoning. Take a few seconds and think about it. Zoning involves local government rules for public land use and development. These laws determine what real property can or cannot be used for in designated areas, significantly impacting community growth and land preservation. Next term, let's get it. Zoning ordinances. Go ahead, take a guess. You've got this. Zoning ordinances serve as the rulebook for determining how properties, most often land, should be used and developed within specific zones. Consider them the referee, ensuring that land use plays well with community needs, goals, and the spirit of local planning.
You've done it! Terms 61 to 90 are now under your belt, so you're well on your way of becoming a real estate vocabulary titan. But the bad news is, if you missed our previous video in this series on terms 31 to 60, you might find yourself in trouble on your exam day. I advise you to go back and check it out to keep your exam hopes alive. And get ready for more adrenaline-pumping real estate knowledge as we continue this journey together. Please keep an eye on our next video and see you soon.